Every morning I look at my children's work right before I get it out. And there are some days when I open up my child's math book and I look at it and I think, this is going to be a tough lesson. Those are the days when I know I need to mix it up. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you how I do in this video. I'm Jamie, and this is Simply Learning Together, where I like to share the simple things that we do in our homeschool. I absolutely love math, and I love to try and mix it up and change it up and have fun with it. We use Horizons math. Some people might describe it as very cut and dry. There's really no fluff to it. I enjoy that because I can be very flexible with that, and you're going to see that here as I demonstrate how we kind of work through these lessons. One of the ways I like to change it up is I look at the book and I find something that I know I can make an activity for. If I just change that one activity, that's just something small that we can do to make the lesson different. Now, I'm not talking about adding anything extra. This is using exactly the same problems from the book and doing something fun with it so that we can kind of just add a little spice to the lesson, get through those long lessons in a fun way. I've chosen to look at addition because it comes up all the time, specifically in my kindergartner's math book. I've made a list of a bunch of different addition activities that we can do. I have a blog post about this as well, and I'm calling it a growing blog post because I like to come up with different things all the time. So I'm going to be adding to the blog post as we come up with things. Now I'm talking simple addition, 2 plus 3, all the way up to harder addition where you are adding 2-digit numbers to single-digit numbers. That's what we're working on now. That's what I'm going to share with you. The first activity I want to show you is with magnet tiles. We use Picasso tiles. They're a little less expensive than the name brand, and they work just the same. And what's great is they are a square. So if you line them up, 2 rows of 5, you have a tin frame. And that's what we're working on. So we actually have a big dry erase board that these will stick to, and so we use that all the time. But honestly, you could do the same thing on your table, or if you had kind of paper that rolled out, you could put it on the paper as well. Let me show you how this works.
What I would do is just place them together. So I could have 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 3 plus 3. And as you can see, this is like a tin frame. The only downside is you don't have these empty boxes here, but this is one way you could do it just on a table. If you wanted to, you could put it on some paper and draw the lines if that made you more comfortable.
The next one I want to show you is with Legos, which you probably already have at your house. You may have seen this before. Here's a trick. When you're pulling out one of these activities, don't even give the book to your kid. Just kind of put it aside, let you use it for the problems. Once you get through it, you can actually skip it in the book, which is exciting. You're still doing the work, but you're just doing it in a more fun way. The Lego is easy. If you have a problem that is 2 plus 2, you take 2 of one color and you stack it with 2 of another color, and then you have them here and you can count them together. And so if your child loves Legos, this would be great. If you have a mini dry erase board, you can even write the problems down for your child. We do not have one. I just use dry erase pockets and fill them with colored paper. It works just the same. So you could write the problem down, your child could write the problem down, whatever you prefer. Remember, we are not making up new problems here. We're taking these problems right from the book, right from our lesson. This is not any extra thing for you. This is just adding a twist to what is already planned in your lesson. For this next one, you're going to need a box or a bag. Whatever you have is fine. I actually had a shoe box laying around after Christmas time, and I just cut a hole in the top. But you could easily just use some type of bag that you have at home. There's something about drawing out of a box that is exciting. That is such a simple act that can make your lesson different and fun. You're not doing any extra work. Take the math lesson. Here's an example. This is from the math lesson, and I'm literally going to cut out the problems like this. Don't do extra. Here's the problem right here. I'm going to fold it up and I'm going to put it in my box. And so my child can reach their hand in, and it's so tiny I can't find it. They're going to reach their hand in, pull it out, and solve. And once they solve it, they go to the next one. And here's something to make it a little bit of fun. Put some blank pieces of paper in there that say, like, do 10 jumping jacks or do 3 circles around the house, something like that, little wiggle ones, so that they're not always pulling out a math problem. All you have to do is cut your textbook and throw it in a box. When you're adding single digits in your math lesson, dominoes are a great way to do that. Pick a domino, talk about how many is on each side. You can write the problem. I'm using my pocket again. You can write the problem, or your child can write the problem, and then you can solve it. Draw a domino again, write and solve. If you don't want to write anything down, just go ahead and add them together. Just using dominoes instead of using the book is something so simple to add a little twist. Similar to the Lego activity, you can also use Unifix cubes, which are actually really nice because you have a bunch of different colors that are all the same size, so you're not digging through your Lego bins. An easy way to do it is just roll a dice, pick a color, and put that many together. One fun activity that we've done is a rainbow cube activity. So we start with red and we roll the dice and we get that many red. And then we move to orange. We roll the dice. I got 2. So I would take orange and I would attach it to the red. Then we would do yellow and keep going all the colors of the rainbow until we have one big long stick. And then we can count them all together. So just something different, something fun, something colorful that you can just sit down and use a dice for.
So for this activity, you simply roll a die. I have 4. I'm going to place 4 counters in my first box. If your child is just learning how to write numbers, they can trace down here and then write the number on the line. And then we would roll again. 1. I could trace my number, write it, and then I can count and write my answer. It's as simple as that. Something else fun you can do is by using Play-Doh. I'm making kind of just a rough square shape. As you can see, it's mixed. We're all moms here. We know our Play-Doh does not stay same color. And what we would do instead is use stamps. If you've never stamped Play-Doh before, it is so fun. So same thing, you would roll the dice. So I have 2. So I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to do 1, 2, and then I can roll again. I've got 5. I'm going to use the little chicken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can count them together. If you just flip it over, you can do one more time before you have to kind of, remake your square. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just so fun to use these little stampers on the Play-Doh. This next one is super fun. I did it for my daughter who loves pictures and loves coloring pictures. So I'm just taking a coloring book that we have and I'm gonna rip it out. And I'm actually going to glue it on, I think she might like that one better. I'm gonna glue it on this sheet of paper. So this one takes just a couple minutes of prep. Next, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to make this into 6 squares. And so I don't lose my place, I'm just going to write 1 through 6. Now, the next step is to take the math book, because remember, I'm not doing extra work here. I'm using the problems that are given to me. So let's take any addition section. Here's one right here that we did. And I'm going to write these same problems on here. So I can write 17 plus 0 equals that. 10 plus 7 equals boom. And in each section, I'm going to write either 1 or 2 problems. So here I might write just 1 problem. And I'm going to fill up these sections. I'm going to cut them. So I have 6 cards. And let me do that for you really quick. Separating it like this, for some reason, just makes it easier for my child. And when she sees it in the book, it's immediately defeating. But when you put it like this, for some reason, it's easier for her to do. So these are blank, but they would obviously have problems on them. Now, the way that this works is I'm going to have her solve these problems, and I'm going to tell her that there is a secret on the back, but she can't peek. We'll solve all of these little squares, and then eventually, when she's finished, we're going to glue them in order. So remember, that's why I had them here. So I'm going to put them, and then I'm going to tape them. So I just briefly taped it. You could tape it as much or as little as you wanted. And then once it's taped, we would take it and flip it over, and ta-da, there is the picture. If your child loves to color pictures, they will probably love this activity. For the next activity, we're going to be matching, and we're just going to make our own matching cards. I'm using 2 different colors. One, I'm going to write the questions, and the other, I'm going to write the answer. By color coding them like this, it just makes it easier and makes the game flow a little more smooth. Now, I'm going to make them into hearts. When we did this, it was actually around Valentine's Day, and it was a cute activity. So I have 4 here. You could make 12. You could make however many you would need for your book. So I'm going to do questions on the yellow. So let's do 12 plus 5. And I'm going to do answers on the red. And so when we're matching, what I would do, I'd flip them all over. Now, obviously, you probably want to use pencil or something that you can't see. So I'm going to tell my child they pick a yellow first. So she would pick yellow, and I would have her go ahead and solve this, and I would even have her write down the answer. That way she's only solving it one time. So if she doesn't find the match right away, she flips it over and she's not having to do extra work. So you would have a whole slew of hearts, questions on one color, answers on another. Makes it super fun and super easy.
Okay, I wish you could see the mess that I've created on my table. But here's the point. These activities are supposed to be simple for you to add to your lesson. You know, one of the things I realized when I was homeschooling is if I was trying to find extra fun things, it became overwhelming. It was stressful. When I finally learned to just use my book to come up with the problems for our little activities, it made it so much easier. And then once we do the activity, we go to the book and we literally scratch it out, and it's so fun. Who doesn't love scribbling all over their textbook? You know, this is not something that we do every single day. It's all about how we're feeling. When I look at the book in the morning, I want to realize, is this something that we can get through, or is it something that's going to need a little bit of an extra push to get finished? And so if it needs something, then I add one of these in. Sometimes we just sit down and do the book. But having these go-to activities, just using things around our house, we're able to just kind of throw something in quickly and make it fun. If you don't want to do a full-blown activity, try just doing something different. Maybe taking your book outside, maybe using sidewalk chalk, doing it in shaving cream on the table. If you use a dry erase marker on a mirror or a window, you can wipe it off. Doing the problems there instead make it so fun. Another idea is you could do a scavenger hunt. Just like I cut the problems earlier, take those problems and hide them around your house and let them find them. Have you ever played Floor is Lava with your math? Same thing. Put the problems on a card and let them jump from pillow to pillow, as long as you don't mind your pillows getting jumped on, and solve as they jump. So little things like this can just really make a lesson that seems exhausting into something that really turns into a good time. I hope you have fun with this. Let me know if you try one of these games. Leave a comment below, or if you have something fun that you would want to share, I'd love to hear it from you.